Hello and welcome to day 6 of the handwriting challenge. Only 2 days to go after this one. We're going to do the normal structure. We're going to start with our warm-up exercises. Then we're going to do our letter formation. And then we're going to have a fun activity. Ready to go. For our warm-up activity today, we're going to go over 2 of the exercises we've done already. The first one we're going to do is hand pushes. So remember, put your palms together, elbows parallel to the table. That means not tipping either way. And we're going to push together and count to 5, then relax. We're going to do that a few times. Ready for the first one? Together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Together and push really hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. And push together again as hard as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And push together again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And last time, push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And now we're going to do the butterflies. They were a bit like the lazy 8s, but we joined our hands together. So hands out in front with your palms facing away from you. You can see the back of your hands. Link your thumbs to make an X, and then we're going to make lazy 8s. So get ready. Off to that side, go round, cross in front of your body, go round at the other side. 1. Now it's number 2. Cross in front of your body, and 3, and 4, and 5. Back to the starting point. Now we're going off to the other side to start with. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. Ready to start. Give yourself a bit of a shake. Yesterday we did our tunnel letters. We did N, M and H. Today we're moving on to letters that are a bit of a variation on the tunnel letter formation. So the first letter we're going to write is B. Watch carefully. It starts off like an H, but then it changes. So we do our leading stroke. It's got a tall ascender. Then it comes down. And it goes halfway back up like an H, but then it comes round and it tucks under. And you need to remember to do an exit stroke, ready for the next letter. That comes out round the bottom, and then you're all ready to go if you're trying to join your writing. Let's do another B. Watch carefully. Leading stroke, all the way down, halfway back up. Looks like making an H, but you tuck it under, and then exit stroke comes out from the bottom, a bit like the exit stroke from the S. Let's do that again. You draw it with your finger in front of you in the air. Leading stroke, all the way down. Come halfway back up. Looks like doing an H, but it curls round and it comes out the exit stroke. Okay, you have a practice. Pause and practice the letter B. The next letter we're going to write starts like a tunnel letter, and then it has an extra bit. It also has a descender. Can you guess which letter it is? I wonder if you managed that. It's a P, the letter P. So let's get started. It has a leading stroke, then it goes down past the line because it's got a descender. You come back up, you go round, and like the B, you curl under, and then the exit stroke, ready for the next letter, goes like that. Watch again. Leading stroke, descend down below the line. Come back up, go over and round. Keep your pen on and do the exit stroke. Draw one in the air in front of you. Leading stroke, straight down and descend below the line. Come back up, over the top and round, but keep your pencil on and come out with your exit stroke ready for the next letter. Have a practice at that. Keep going until you've really got the idea of it. Pause and practice the letter P. The next letter we're doing today, I wouldn't call a tunnel letter. I think it starts more like an I or an L. The letter we're doing is the letter U. So it's a half-size letter. Start on the line, leading stroke, down, it's more like a cup. Go up, come down again and exit stroke. And again. Watch carefully, leading stroke to halfway mark, down, make a cup, go down again and exit stroke. Drawn in the air in front of you with your finger. Leading stroke, straight down, make a little cup, and go down and exit stroke. Stop and practice. Pause and practice the letter U. And now we're going to work on joining some of these letters. We get two B's together in the middle of words like rubber. Okay, watch carefully. Leading stroke, straight down to the bottom. Go halfway up and come round. Keep your pencil on, come out the bottom. Oh, and we're ready for the next one. Leading stroke, straight down, round, and come out round the bottom in case there's other letters to follow. Do another one with me. Perhaps you can write it in the air in front of you with your finger. Leading stroke, tall letter, all the way down. Halfway back up, come round, then exit stroke into the leading stroke of the next B. Straight down, halfway back up, round and exit stroke. And I'll show you how to join the P's next. We get two P's in the middle of words like supper. So, leading stroke, straight down, remember it's got a descender. Halfway back up, round and exit stroke, ready to go into the next one. Leading stroke, straight down below the line, back up, round, exit stroke, ready for the next one. And again, leading stroke, straight down, descend below the line, go all the way back up, go round, make the round bit at the front, keep your pencil on to the exit stroke, you're ready for the next one. Straight into it, all the way down, up, round, exit stroke. And last of all, let's join two U's. I can't think of any words in English with two U's together, but it's a useful handwriting practice to practice. So, leading stroke, straight down, make the cup, go straight down, that's one finished. Leading stroke, straight down, make the cup, down, exit stroke. Could even try joining three of them. Leading stroke, round, straight down, leading stroke, down, round, straight down, that's two done, and again, leading stroke, down, straight down the side, exit stroke. Stop and practice that. Pause and practice joining your letters. I'm just going to write down all the letters that we have practiced so far, and the list is getting longer and longer. I don't think I can fit them all on one line anymore. So first of all, we have the ones that start with the C foundation. So we've got C, we've got A, we've got D with its ascender, we've got G with its descender, we've got O with its top exit, we've got Q, and we have got S, and we have got E. Then we've got the ones that have the straight line. So we have the leading stroke, straight down, and exit. I, L, T. Then let's see if I can get this one right today. X, Z, R, V, W, and we've got our tunnels. We've got N, M, and H, and then I'm just going to go on the next line to do the ones that we practiced today. They were the tunnels with a bit more. So there was B, that went round and then had the exit stroke. Then there was P that had a descender, so it had its leading stroke, down, up again, round, don't forget the exit stroke. And then we had U. Okay, we are doing really well. Now we're going to practice putting some of our new letters in words. First of all, we're going to do a 2-letter word. I'm going to write up because it uses the U and the P. So watch carefully, leading stroke, down, round, go down again. Now we're ready to do the P. So leading stroke, down, but this one's got a descender beneath the line. Go back up, go round, and don't forget your exit stroke. Let's do another one. You can write it up in the air. Leading stroke, down, round to make a bowl, down, then leading stroke, and you're going to go all the way down because it's a descender, back up to the top, go round, and exit stroke. And let's do one more. Leading stroke, make a cut for the U, go down the side of it again, then lead into the P, descend below the line, come back up to near the top, go round, don't forget to do your exit stroke. Well done. Next, I think we will write the word but, because that practices B. Let's find another colour. But, I can hear 3 sounds, but. So we write it the B-U-T. Ready? Leading stroke and all the way up, because it's got an ascender. All the way down, halfway up, go round, come out for the exit stroke and straight into the U, which remember started like an I, but then it made a little cut. Go down and lead into the T, which is a 3/4 high letter, not all the way up to the line, but taller than the half-size letters. Go back and cross it. Let's write but again, do it in the air in front of you, tall letter for the B, all the way down. Go round, come out, and into the U, and lead into the T, not as tall as the B, and go back and cross the T. Okay, and let's see what other word we could practice for that. We could write put. It's interesting. Put is very like but in but the U makes an sound, but in put the U makes an sound. So we're going to write put. We need a P, a U and a T. Ready? Leading stroke. Down below the line because it's got a descender, back up and round. Keep your pen on. Do your exit stroke. Go into the U. This is like we practiced already in but. And into the T, 3/4 high. And go back and cross your T. And again. Leading stroke. Down because it's got a descender below the line. Go up, go round, keep your pencil on to the exit stroke. Make the U. Don't forget to go down the end of the U. Leading straight to the T, 3/4 high. And go back and cross the T. Pause and practice writing up, but and put. Today for our fun activity we're going to be using Play-Doh. You might have a pot of Play-Doh, a bit like this. I opened mine up that I had from when I was doing some work at the reception last year, and I found it was a little bit hard and dry and it keeps cracking up. If you've got some Play-Doh, that's great for this session today, but if you haven't, I'm going to show you how to make some now. So now I'm going to show you how to make your own Play-Doh. I'm going to make salt dough, which is good because you can always bake it in the oven if you want to save what you've made. So the ingredients we need for that are 2 cups of flour. We also need salt, and we need hot water, just from the tap. It doesn't need to be too hot, just safe water to use. You need a bowl to mix it in, a spoon to mix with, and some sort of cup measure. I'm using a little cup, not like normal cup measures for recipes. So long as you get the proportions right, doesn't matter what size cup you use. And I don't want to make too much Play-Doh, so I'm just using this little cup. So the first thing that you need to do is measure out 2 cups of flour. So I'm going to use my cup and I'm going to spoon the flour in. Okay, it's just about full. And I'm going to tip it into the bowl. That's 2 cups of flour, so another lot. It's 2 cups full, in they go. And then the next thing on my list after the 2 cups of flour was 1 cup of salt. So I'm using the same size cup. I'm going to fill that up with salt. It's quite slow at pouring. In it goes. Squeeze, that helps it along. That's my 1 cup of salt. And that goes in. I'm going to quickly stir those together. And now I'm going to add my 1 cup of hot water from the tap. So I'm going to put some of it in. I'm not going to put it all in now, just in case it comes out too sticky. And then I'm going to start mixing it. And I can see that doesn't look quite enough, so I'm going to add a bit more. I think this is good exercise for your shoulder muscles. And it still looks a little bit dry to me. That's coming. I might add just a teeny bit more. You want it to be soft, but you don't want it to be sticky. If yours comes out a little bit sticky, you can always add another spoonful of flour, and that's actually coming together quite nicely. I think that looks quite good. So I'm going to scrape it off the spoon with my fingers, and then I'm going to pull it together in a ball and start working it. So you don't want it to stick all over your fingers, but you want it to be soft enough to push around. And this is a really good exercise for making your hands stronger. Put it and push it. Put it together and push it. Put it together and push it. You can squeeze it in one hand. I think mine's just a tiny bit sticky. So I'm going to get another little bit of flour. Just a small amount. I'm going to push it into the flour to try and take off that stickiness. If yours is too dry, you can add a spoonful more water. Just put a tiny bit in at a time, the same with the flour. I think that's better now. It's in danger of sticking to my hands and getting in a mess. So squeeze it. A bit sticky again, so I'll pick up a bit more of that spare flour. There you have it, a nice ball of Play-Doh that you can use for playing with. And you can make things and cook them in the oven. There we go. So now that your dough's made, you can begin to play with it. There's lots of different actions that we do with dough that are good for our fingers. There's something on YouTube called dough disco or disco dough. I can't remember which way around it goes. But there's lots of activities you can do with dough along to music that strengthen up your hands and help your fine motor skills. I'll try and add a little bit of a clip of that and I'll give you the link. So here are all some of the different movements we can make. We can do rolling. You can roll between 2 hands and then you shape your hands to make a nice round ball. You can do squashing. That really strengthens your hand. If you have a big lump, you can squash it between your hands. See how flat you can make it just using your hands, not using the tabletop. You can do poking dough. If I put it down here, you can make all of your fingers work independently. You can poke it with your thumb, you can poke it. If you hold your hand still, you can make each finger make a hole, making each finger work independently. You can do rolling long snakes. I'm not going to take too much because it goes very thin and then it goes very long, but you can do it on the table. But if you use both hands, you are making your hands have a bit of a workout. When you've got a nice long snake, you can try using one hand to roll it up into a snail, into a spiral, like a snail's shell. There we are. And then you can do it with the other hand. So roll it into a nice long snake and coil it up. Making one hand do all the work. There we are, another snail shell. The good thing about Play-Doh is you can just squash it and start again. Another thing you can do is pinching. If you make a shape first, and then you can just use your finger and thumb to pinch, or you can try using your middle finger and thumb, or your ring finger and thumb, or your little finger and thumb. Because your hands are smaller than mine, you'll get all sorts of different patterns with little tiny pinching marks compared to my big ones that look a bit clumsy. You could use that idea to make a dinosaur. Is it a stegosaurus that's a bit like that? I break that bit off. It's beginning to look a bit dinosaurish. So those are some of the things you can do with it. You can make all sorts of different things. You can make animals, or you can just enjoy playing with it, squeezing it. Make it all come out between your fingers. Ooh, that's gone a bit sticky. Let's see if I can rub it off. Squeezing it is really good for your hands to strengthen them, particularly if it's not quite as sticky as this one. One of the things I like doing is something that I would do with clay normally, which is making a pinch pot. You can make a ball, and then if you stick your thumb in the middle, you can work around using your fingers and your thumb to pinch it. And I like to see how thin I can go with the dough before it all collapses. So it's making like a little bowl, pinching, thumb on the inside, fingers on the outside. It's nice and smooth on the inside. It's getting a bit big and floppy now. And remember, you can use the other hand too to strengthen that up. It feels a bit more awkward. I think it's quite soft dough, so it's coming out more like a plate. But that's a good movement, making your fingers and thumb work together but independently. There we are. I've made a plate, not a bowl. And squash it up again. So have lots of fun playing with your dough. I'm going to try making something with my dough to bake in the oven. I want to make some beads, and I'm going to paint them and try and make them into some Christmas decorations to hang on the Christmas tree. Sometimes when dough cooks in the oven, it puffs up a bit and doesn't work very well. So this is a bit of an experiment, but in making it, I'm working my hands still. I want to make some smallish beads, so I'm pulling off a piece of dough, and although it'd be easier to make this, just rolling it on the tray like that, I'm using my fingers because this is about getting exercise for my hands and making my fine motor skills better. So I'm going to roll it between my thumb and my fingers, and you get a nice sphere, quite smooth. I'm just going to put that on the tray. I'm going to make another one. I don't mind if they come out slightly different sizes. You don't want them to be too big because salt dough takes about 3 hours to cook if it's quite a small thing. If you make big things, it takes much longer than that, and the oven's on all day. There's another one. I'm going to make some that are different shapes too. I think this will have to be a round one because it's a bit too big for my other shape. So I'll just keep working my fingers and thumb. I can really feel there's exercising. I think my hands might ache tomorrow. If I can feel a lump, I move it round so that my fingers can make it smoother because I want smooth spheres. Put that one there. Now I'm going to make one, the rest of it down because I'm going to use both hands for this. I'm going to make it a bit smaller than that. Rolling it into a ball with one hand again. But then I'm just going to squash it a bit because I want a flatter one. Not too thin because it's quite fragile and it'll break. I'm going to put that down there. And the other shape I want to make is more of a cylinder. So that's a flattish circle, or a flat cylinder I suppose, because it's not totally flat. and I want to make another cylinder, so I'm rubbing it between my finger and thumb, which is a good movement. It's a bit like when we do writing letters, and then I'm going to press it to make it flat on the top and the bottom. A cylinder, remember, is a shape with a circle on the top, a circle on the bottom, and one curved side. Pop that down there, and then I'm going to use a stick to make holes, because I want these to thread on some string. So I've made the hole with a point, but then I'm going to make it bigger, because sometimes dough puffs up in the oven and the hole doesn't stay there. I'll do this quite carefully because it's quite fragile. I'll get the stick through. The same with the round beads. Stick through. If you're using a sharp pointy stick like this, make sure you don't stick it into your hands. It does squash them a little bit. They don't stay such a nice sphere, they go a bit more cylindrical. A bit more like donuts. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to turn the video off, but I'm going to carry on and make lots more of these. And when they're finished, they go in the oven at the lowest setting the oven can be for about 3 hours. And this is what I made with my salt dough beads. I painted them and then I threaded them to make them into little snowmen to decorate a tree. I wonder what you'll make with yours. If you want to try disco dough, here's a good one to try.